sun come out. Oh my God. The waves are so pretty. So pretty.
Scoot over, I'm getting it.
Intelexx here. Welcome to Lifin with Lex, where we talk about a variety of topics surrounding life because life be lifin', right? Yes, definitely working out to keep the stress level down because life be lifin' and people will try you. Okay. But don't worry because there is one thing that we gotta do, and listen, check the message here. Okay? Start each day with a grateful heart. Yeah?
Everybody get in the picture, get in the video. Hey, we out here.
Definitely got to be around the family, but you know, self-care is a must, so you need that isolation because, baby, but most importantly, enjoying life because you only get one, right? And you know, a part of life is building relationships. Definitely got to have that. And definitely got to stay on point with the learning because knowledge is power. Okay? And not only that, applying it. Yes, that's right. Putting that knowledge to work and doing the work for the greater good. You heard me? Make sure to tune in and tap in to this episode to see what we're going to talk about today. Hello, welcome and welcome back to another episode of Lifin with Lex. We in here, period. Okay. All right, so we are in season 2 already. Shout out to all of you who have been rocking out with me from the very beginning, doing something different. This is definitely outside of my comfort zone, so I'm challenging myself, and I hope that this encourages you to challenge yourself too. Okay. All right, so this episode, we are on episode 2, and we are going to be talking about it takes a village, but I can't trust you. Listen, how many of us have trust issues? I'll be the first to raise my hand. All right, so just a little backstory as far as why I think that I got some issues. All right, so growing up, I, was mistreated by some family members. And you know how the family is supposed to be your village, right? For me, it was more so a prison. And I'm saying that very loosely because it wasn't like prison. Okay, I never been to prison, so I don't really know what it's like. But as far as it's supposed to be heaven and peace for me, it was the opposite, to where I always wanted to be outside of the home. So every chance that I got, I was out. Okay, and you can bear witness to that as family. They would know I'm not doing all that, right? And you know what? I'm gonna take off these glasses because this glare is being a little extra. Okay, no, never mind. I'm gonna put them back on. I'm gonna put them back on. All right, so let me fix the lighting for a minute. Let me fix the lighting. Okay, let's see. Okay, a little better. It's a little better. All right, so give me 1 second, y'all. I turned down the brightness. So, all right, there we go. We in there now. Okay, so just to give a backstory, right? So when I was younger, I was assaulted by a family member. Nothing was really done. There was no justice that was done. And so I grew up with a lot of engrams to where I felt like family that's supposed to be there to help you, support you, to give you all of these accolades and just really focus on being there for you, being that support system, being that help when you need it. I didn't have that. So I felt like it was me against my family and the world. And because of that, my trust went completely away to where I wasn't trusting of anyone, whether they were family or not. And I put this wall up, barbed wires, rabid dogs, all types of stuff, just so that I would be able to protect myself because I didn't feel like I was protected growing up. And so, when it comes to building walls, it's a two-folded thing to where you're not allowing anybody in, but you're not allowing yourself to get out either. And so that was something that I dealt with growing up to where I was like, you have to show and prove that I can trust you beyond a shadow of a doubt, or there's no trust. And so, not really understanding the concepts and the dynamics of relationships, I tended to be short with people. So, when it came to like building certain relationships and friendships, if there was something that really irritated me or something I did not like, I would cut off the relationship within months, not realizing that this could actually be a healthy relationship. But because I didn't look at it that way, I just cut them off and kept it moving because I didn't really have time for all the extra stuff. And because I didn't deal with the hurt from my past and the trauma from my past, I was taking it out on people that didn't deserve it. And so, whatever someone would do or say that triggered something from my past or will remind me of people from my past that I didn't trust, I automatically just cut them off. Now, I'm older now. I have a better understanding of what a relationship actually entails. So, because of that, I'm like, okay, I'm able to actually look at relationships in a different way. And for those of you who don't know, I'm very educated, right? And because of that, I went to school for psychology because I wanted to learn the reasons behind why people do what they do. And even with myself, it's still a long term, lifelong lesson that I'm learning about myself. And as I get older and as I spend more time with me, I am learning why I do certain things that I do or why I respond certain ways. So, with all that being said, it takes a village to really build up someone or to tear them down. And I'm all about the build up, right? And it doesn't just take the village to help you, it takes you to help the village too. So it's a two-way street. And I was more focused on how the village, wasn't there for me, didn't provide justice for me, didn't help me in time of need. So I was just like, screw the village. I don't need the village. I'm cool without y'all. But in reality, everybody is on their own healing journey. And sometimes we can just focus so much on what we got going on that it doesn't look like someone else is actually trying because of how they come off or how it's actually presented through them. And so I had to learn, like, I'm on this healing journey. I'm on this learning to trust journey, this vulnerability journey, but so are they. And they might be at a place where they thought that they did what they could do. They thought they might have done their best in that situation. So just learning to give people grace, because for me, I wasn't giving anyone grace. I didn't care. I said, listen, this is my standard. And if you don't meet this standard, I'm sorry, I can't do nothing with you. But I wasn't giving any grace. Now, I do believe that we all should have our own standards and stick to it, period. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it's not about how we feel, should be done. It's all about being on the side of the truth, right? And all of us have fallen short in some type of way. We've hurt people, we've gotten hurt, we've lied, we've steal, we've cheated, we've all of these things, right? Because if you do one, you done did them all. But, you know, to think that someone else is at a better position to be more trusting, like, I believe trust is earned. But I believe that everybody should start off at a certain percentage. Like, I trust you 30%. And then what you do after that will determine if I trust you more or less. And that's just an example. I don't give percentages. I'm more open now, and I'm more understanding, just living life. Life is an experience in itself. Life be lifing, right? And so just learning that life's for all of us, and how we deal with it is based on our everyday lives. It's based on what we go through. It's based on how we respond to certain things. It's based on how healed that we are. Then yeah, just learning that everybody is just on that journey of healing, and is on that journey of really figuring it out. And so for me, being able to come to a realization that, what, maybe when I was younger, and things were done that I didn't see, and even things that I did see, maybe that was their way of helping me, and because that was all that they knew. And so I'm really learning to really give grace, and to have a better understanding of where someone comes from, and also having those hard conversations. Like, I've had conversations with my family about the things that have happened to me, and it has been very freeing for me to hear how everything played out when I was younger, to hear it at that age compared to where I am now, and to just see it from a different perspective, because I've matured myself. I've broken down some of my walls to where I am more trusting, I am more vulnerable, and I'm open to hearing what someone has to say about the situation that we both might have experienced. I've gotten to the point where I am very understanding. I've learned more about who I am, so that way I can be more effective and treat other people better than I did in the past. Okay, because at the end of the day, you can only treat others the way that you treat yourself. You can only meet others to the extent that you meet yourself. So realizing that, and realizing all the things that how I responded, and who I was hanging around, and what I actually did to cope with the things that were not dealt with at the time, reflected back on how I actually felt about myself and how I treated myself, to where I didn't have a certain level of trust within myself for me. So how can I trust you if I don't necessarily trust me? So it was really a process for me, to where I really had to dig deep and learn who I am, what I wanted, what I wanted to heal from, and actually talk about it and do the work to get there. Now, it took almost 20 years just to finally start talking about my past in order to heal from it. So all that time, all of my childhood, high school years, and early college years, I had unresolved hurt. And so I stayed to myself. I was very introverted. I was very to myself. And only a certain number of people could actually come into my inner circle, because I was so untrusting of people and situations. It wasn't until I actually decided to get the help that I needed, speaking to a therapist, having mental health days, building my relationship with God. All of these things helped me to build that trust. And speaking of God, that relationship was the cornerstone and the foundation for which I shared all my relationships with. As far as the way I treated God is the way I treated myself, is the way I treated others. So if my treatment of God was off, it was because of my lack of trust with Him. You know what I'm saying? And so it all went back to my foundation, and I really got to the root of my issue. It really got to the root of my issue, because at the end of the day, y'all, that is the most important relationship that you will ever have, is the one that you have with God. And how you treat your creator, how you build that relationship, is how you're going to treat yourself, how you love yourself, how you look at yourself, as well as how you treat, look, and love others. All right, so you can't get away from that. And if you are someone who doesn't believe that there is a God or that there is a creator, I hope that you find some illumination and revelation about how you got created, right? Because, regardless of what it looks like on the outside, somebody done did all this creating, and it has to be someone with a divine amount of power and all of that to be able to get to that point. So, yes, it took me a while to really grow and to build my village. I can probably say that I have one now, and I'm very happy, very pleased with who's in my village, who helps me. I definitely have a foundation, a better foundation than I did before, because, you know, like I said, it took me a lot. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I completely trust, and, my village has, my complete and 100% trust, because that would be a lie. I'm still a work in progress. And for anybody who's going on this journey or is going through it or is going through it, let me tell you, I'm here with you. I'm here. Okay. We are right in the same place, the same boat, in the same water. All right. Because it is a daily struggle. It is a daily choice that I make, that I'm open and willing to trust others with me. Right. I'm delicate. Okay. I'm fragile, handled with care. Okay. So when it comes to me, I'm very open to learning more about who I am. And that takes time. It took me time to really build a relationship with myself, instead of focusing on, oh, I need to build this with someone else. I need to do this. I need to do that. Instead of looking inside of me to figure out, what do I want? What do I need to feel like I'm in heaven on earth? What do I need to feel like I can really trust this person or these people with me? How can I be more vulnerable? How can I be more trusting? Because a lot of times we want things that we're not. And that's not how you gain anything. You have to be it first in order to get it. Myron Golden always talks about be, do, have. You have to be it in order to do it, in order to have it. And a lot of times we want to just have it without being it and without doing it. It reminds me of people who want long lasting relationships. They want to be married and they have a whole list of things that they want their partner to be. But are you that first? Because you can't be what you're not, And so, like I said, I'm really just learning to love myself more, to really be trusting of myself more, and to just appreciate all the relationships that have been a part of my life throughout the years. Every person that I've encountered, every relationship that I've built was not by coincidence. And so if the relationship only lasts for a short period, I've learned something. If it lasts for a lifetime, I've still learned something. And so I feel like just learning how to categorize people. So I always talk about how people are like trees. You have the leaves, the branches, and the roots. The leaves are the ones who, fall away quickly. They're there for a little minute and they go away. The branches are someone who, they're there, but then when times get real tough, they fall away, they break off. But then the roots are the ones, that's your people, that's your circle, the ones that's going to be there for you no matter what, that's going to be there through thick and thin, through whatever weather, all of that. And I'm glad to say that I have some roots. I also have some branches and I have some leaves. But just knowing where to categorize people and how to put them in their places, in their proper places, so that that expectation is not only there, but you're not expecting more from them than what they are there to bring you. So if someone is a root, for instance, and not a root, if someone is a branch or a leaf and you treat them like a root, now you're disappointed because they done left. But you categorize them in the wrong category, right? And so learning, having that discernment to figure out, okay, this is who's in my village. This is an acquaintance. This is somebody that's going to be here for a little minute. This is person that's just going to teach me something, but they're not going to be around forever. It will free up some of that heartache, because you're putting people in the right place. And put yourself in the right place when it comes to the relationship that you have as well. Because at the end of the day, you are who you need to be, and you're right where you need to be right now. But it's not meant for you to stay where you are. And so a lot of relationships will either elevate you or they'll tear you down. And once you realize that every relationship is a lesson, you'll look at it a little bit different. So for me, that's what I've been doing, is just looking at my village and figuring out, listen, you were good for me for up until this time, but it's time for us to separate. And no hard feelings, no love lost, but you serve your purpose and I've served mine. And it, like I said, it's a two-way street. So I look at what I do to others as well. And that's something that a lot of us might struggle with, but it's something that is definitely necessary. So when it comes to building that village, and it takes a village to really train up someone and build that up, I'm grateful that I had a village. It might not have been the one that I wanted, but it's something that I cherish now, to where the village that I have now, you can't tell me nothing, okay? Period. All right, so that's really all I wanted to share today. Yeah, trust takes work. You have to give it to get it, and you have to be it first in order to have it. All right, so I hope this blessed somebody. I hope you all can relate. Like, I want to know, I want to hear from y'all. Like, how was your village growing up? What's your trust level like? And how did you build it up to where it is now? And if you don't have any trust, what are you doing to gain it? Or are you not doing anything because you don't want to trust nobody, period? I want to hear from y'all. All right, but that's all I got for you. Stay tuned, because we got some goodies coming up this season. But that's all I'm going to share. But just learn to trust yourself first. Learn to trust that foundation you have with your Lord, whatever you call him, whether it's God, Allah, Yahweh, Yeshua, however you want to call. Have that foundation with your foundation first. Build that trust up with that center first, and then learn to trust you, and then learn how to trust others. You give what you get. All right, well, that's all the time I have, but I hope you have an amazing day and an awesome rest of your week. That's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Okay, so keep it real. What did you think? And be honest, y'all, because I really want to know what y'all think. Honest feedback definitely matters, okay? Share your thoughts about it on the Q&A that's attached to the episode on Anchor or Spotify or Apple or all the amazing platforms. If you're on YouTube, make sure to drop a comment. If you want to share a little bit more, but you don't want to do it on those platforms, make sure to email us so that we can share your thoughts on the show. I want you to remember to love yourself.
Trying to level balance out, I meditate all the time. Learn my lesson, turn my blessings into one of a kind. I'm gonna stand up face to face, ain't anything in my way. Mama told me never let my feelings get in the way. I'm waking up like, how the hell can I get better today? I gave myself that confirmation, boy, you already great.
Be true to yourself. And when life starts lifing, life back. But don't forget to life with Lex. Until next time.